Welcome to Your Own Ark. This is an introduction to yourownark.blogspot.com and an overview of the three-stage preparedness food storage program, or food storage made simple, as outlined here on Your Own Ark. A lot of times people want to get started on their food storage, but they either don't know what to do or get overwhelmed with it's too much or too intense, or they find some really fun preparedness gadget and spend money on that when there probably was something better that they could have spent their money on to get started. So what we've tried to do here with Your Own Ark is outline how to start, the levels of starting with the foundation and moving up through the levels. You know, what's most important, what's really cool but you don't really need, and illustrate that out here. We have the different categories of preparedness info, recipes, health, water filtration, sanitation, and feed my soul. All of these different categories are information that we've put on that we found is helpful for people. The three stages of preparedness is outlined to take somebody who has not ever done any preparedness, doesn't have any food storage, and lets them know where to start, and outlines kind of the categories of what to build on with the other things. This is my opinion. There are a lot of different programs out there that are ideas on how to get a year's supply or a 2-year supply of food. This is designed not to be a long-term process, but to kind of do it in chunks at a time, so you cover chunks at a time, which helps get things done more quickly. The different stages, as we go through, we'll do a video on each of the different stages, but the first stage is basic rations. That's your foundational level. As you lay your foundation and get your foundation level stabilized, then you can start to build on top of that. A lot of people will say, oh, you know, I've got 500 pounds of wheat, I'm set. And I said, what are you going to do with it? Well, I'm going to make bread. So my thing with building this program is to illustrate that wheat is not bread. When we talk about bread, bread is a lot of different ingredients and a lot of tools. So wheat is not bread. And so when you talk about your different levels, you want to think about what food is necessary for that ration level, that first stage foundation, and also what tools are necessary for that. And as we build, then we get better and bigger amounts of food, and we also get more tools. Comfortable living, that's where we want to be. The first stage is not fun. It's not necessarily food you want to eat every day, but it's like it says, rations. It can keep you alive. It's designed to get that foundation built and motivate you, because now you've accomplished that. Then you can start adding to the things that you normally eat to make it more comfortable, and the comfortable living comes into play. Obviously, our ultimate goal is provident living and production. We hope to get to this level on various ways where we can grow our own food, produce some of our own commodities, those sort of things. This is not touched on a lot here, because once you get to that level, you're kind of moving on your own. What we want to focus on is that first minimum rations, building that foundation, and then transitioning from there into comfortable living with the necessary food and tools that you need to be able to prepare that food, because just having food in a bucket isn't really useful unless you have a way to cook it and prepare it. Having it in the bucket's not really good if you can't palate it, so we want to have some spices. There's all these different things that we're going to talk about as we go through. This is just an introduction to Your Own Ark, because it's your responsibility, your own ark, to make this food storage, make these preparations for yourself and your family, and we're going to illustrate that as best we can in ways that will help you to make those preparations, how to make decisions, suggestions on different things that we found that are cost effective, and help to shrink the learning curve. I've spent literally thousands and thousands of hours over the last 5 years learning these things, finding out what works, what doesn't work, what you're wasting your money on, and there's been a big learning curve for me. So my goal in doing all of this is to shrink that learning curve down so that you can accomplish the same thing in a shorter amount of time and not make the mistakes, both costly mistakes and just time mistakes, so that you can accomplish your goals quicker and easier and more effectively. I appreciate it, and if you have any questions, contact us through yourownark.blogspot.com.